boy!
Oh boy, how is everybody doing? It is Tristan, and I am bringing you episode 1 of the My Day with Diddy audiobook series. I put out the video earlier about this, and now I'm delivering on my promise to all you people out there that have been long anticipating this series. It is finally here, and I'm stoked. I am totes excited to bring you guys the book that I worked 6 years on at this point. 6 years I worked on this book, and it's pretty fucking sweet to finally see it come together. So, right out of the gate, this is a short episode because chapter 1's pretty damn short, but I guess I gotta set out some ground rules because this is the first episode and all. I gotta set out some ground rules for the series. Not so much ground rules, but more of a warning. There's a lot of parentheses in this book in its entirety. A lot of parentheses. I guess you could say 90% of them are just random tangents that have nothing to do with the story. I know a lot of my friends have just told me, God, I want to kill myself. And, they've said they're never going to read the book again, and I don't blame them. The parentheses are an unforgiving bunch. They're a motley crew, so to speak, that it will really boggle the mind of the untrained reader. But hopefully you guys can stick it out, even though 90% of you are probably those exact same friends that told me they wanted to kill themselves and were never going to read the book again. But hopefully you guys can stick it out. Those of you that aren't my friends, those of you that are hopefully P-Diddy and or Ben Affleck and or anybody that was featured in this book that can get me lots of money via a movie deal or book deal. But those parentheses, just, giving a fair warning, I'm going to try to read this book in 2 inflections, 1 in the serious audiobook inflection, and 2 in a more casual voice, kind of talking to you guys, those are the parentheses. Just a heads up, the casual voice is the parentheses. And basically, even if I don't do a very good job at differentiating it, you could probably tell from the fact that the things that I'm saying make absolutely no sense with the story that was going on. So, just a fair warning. I'm going to try to differentiate it as well as I can, but that's how it's going to work. So, without any further ado, let's get this started. Episode 1, which is going to cover Chapter 1, and yeah, that's about it. So, My Day with Diddy by Tristan Braun. That's me. I'm the one who wrote it. My Day with Diddy, from the co-producer / director of Street Sweepers 1 and 2. Street Sweepers 2, that's coming soon to the channel. Keep in touch for that. That is going to be pretty sweet. Another title page. Okay, serious audiobook time. Whew. In loving memory of when the show Family Guy was actually funny. Yeah, you all know damn well that they're trying too hard now. Fucking Seth MacFarlane. You had a good thing going and you managed to fuck it up somehow. I didn't even think you were that good at the Oscars. I thought your performance was mediocre at best. Chapter 1. Beginning of the End. I distinctly remember looking down at my white Nike golf ball for what felt like hours. Obviously it wasn't actually that long, because that would be dumb and I would look like a massive tool the whole time. But you get what I was going for. The moment was tense. All things considered, though, this could be the understatement of the decade. My shoulders stiffened more than most would think possible, and my cheeks clenched in much the same manner. I feared the outcome of what could possibly be my final putt on the day. More importantly, though, I feared the embarrassment of missing such a simple shot. It was at last the 18th hole after a day of leapfrog on the golf course, and everyone was weathered beyond belief. With scores flipping back and forth for the day's entirety, all of the stress had made for quite the competitive atmosphere. It also made for an abundance of quarreling. That's not to say the day wasn't enjoyable, because it was quite the opposite. However, there were plenty of sunburns to go around. Well, there's $3.99 down the goddamn drain. Thank you, Coppertone, for advertising a product that works when it actually doesn't, assholes. They're seriously lucky I don't bring this to court, though. Ever since that day, I've had this new mole on my skin that I'm starting to worry about, and given my knowledge of the body from human anatomy and physiology, it looks like it could be cancer. I mean, where do they get off charging such ridiculous prices for this shit when it doesn't even get the job done? I don't know. There's my 2 cents about Coppertone, though. I'm on to you, fuckers. And the tough bout was getting to us all, with me and Diddy taking the brunt. With our share of the lead and my shot coming up, I found myself in a state of desperation. It would be the final stand. Well, my final stand, anyway. It was my last chance to take the lead, and that chance came down to one final putt no longer than 15 feet. Normally, this was an easy enough shot. However, the stakes were made this shot... God, this is going to take a long time. It was my last chance to take the lead, and that chance came down to one final putt no longer than 15 feet. Normally, this was an easy enough shot. However, the stakes made this shot far from normal. My heart raced. I was sweating profusely, and I was overall unpleasant to be near. If I had a job interview to be at, they honestly would have just thrown me out. Although, if you think about it, Will Smith managed to get a pretty nice desk job in The Pursuit of Happiness while he was wearing a wife beater and was completely covered in paint, so I guess anything's possible. Man, that was a good movie, wasn't it? Really, though, I mean, anything Will Smith is in is bound to be pretty good, but Pursuit of Happiness and Independence Day have to be close to the top for me. That's for sure. I glanced at the ball once more, then at the water hazard directly in front of me, and then back at the ball. By replanting my feet, shifting them in a sort of fidgety manner, I hoped to somehow reassure myself that I could, in fact, pull this shot out of my ass. In reality, it was clear. I would never sink that momentous putt. The experience factor, although I had performed masterfully on the day, was simply not on my side. It takes years of staying calm under pressure to sink putts with so much on the line, and this was a trait I felt I did not possess. The wind began to get worse as well, blowing fast enough to manipulate even a quality putt, and thus sabotaging what remained of my odds to succeed. A pillow of dark clouds began to settle overhead, cumulonimbus by the looks of it, and it dawned on me that I was seriously fucked in every possible regard. It was then when my legs began to shake. I tried to fight them, but they wouldn't give in. When my arms started to do the same, I realized I had to take my shot before things got any worse. Ha! Keep reading to find out that they most certainly do get worse. Looking again at the ball, I motioned my paper-like arms back and forth. As the silver metal putter struck the ball, it darted forward at a reasonable pace. Neither too fast nor too slow. I sat in wait, crouched down, with my weight entirely on the club as I hardly possessed the strength to hold myself up, with victory on the line. Just as the ball neared what I hoped would be its destination, I bit my lip fearing the worst. Would it miss, or would I take the day with a game winner? Then, as my eyes widened with a smidgen of hope, and I felt that the impossible might actually take place, a shockwave sent me flying across the field. Landing on my head at least 10 feet away, I was knocked to a state of near unconsciousness. It was then, as I squinted to improve my sight, that a voice sounded. "The show's about to start, Tristan. I think you're gonna like it." And there's white space at the end of the chapter. So this is a recurring trend throughout the book. This is not, actually anything story-related. When there's white space at the end of a chapter, I would often fight that by just adding in random shit. So it says, damn, white space. I gotta think of something to take up this page. Well, here's my top 10 SpongeBob episodes as of, 5 years ago at this point. So this is period-accurate SpongeBob top 10 list from, back in the day when I first wrote this book. So, okay, let's go. Number 10, Fry Cook Games. Number 9, Graveyard Shift, which I would probably put a lot higher now. Number 8 is the camping episode. I feel that one is about right. 7 is Band Geeks. Pretty good episode, pretty good. Number 6 is Idiot Box, which arguably, I don't know why I put it at 6. There's a mosquito right there. Fuck you. I don't know why I put this at number 6. I'd put it at number 1 now. Number 5 is No Weenies Allowed. That one's a pretty good one. Number 4 is Chocolate with Nuts. Number 3 is Life of Crime. 2 is Pizza Delivery. And 1. Now this one's controversial. I don't think I'd put this even on the list if I were to redo this list now. Spy Bob. That's the one where SpongeBob and Patrick become super spies for Mr. Krabs and they spy on Plankton. Don't think it would even be on the list this time around. Don't know what I was thinking back then, but you know what, hell, forgive and forget. So, that's chapter 1.